So for years, Bushnell has been the incumbent in the golf rangefinder market. I think it's something like 98% of tour pros play with Bushnells. And for good reason, they're great devices. But over the course of the last couple of years, there's been a handful of companies that have gotten better and better at a much lower price point. One of those is Precision Pro. They started out with the NX10, which was fine, it was okay. It had some reliability issues, but it was a decent rangefinder. Then they released the NX9, which was better. This was a great rangefinder, especially at its price. End of last year, they released the Precision Pro R1. This is one of the best rangefinders I have ever reviewed, and it's a smart rangefinder. It has GPS distances built into the viewfinder, which is pretty wild. So, that being said, that brings us to today, where they have just released the NX10. And I've got to say, this is one of the very best products I have ever reviewed here on Breaking 80. Today, I'm going to tell you why. We're going to do an unboxing. I'm going to tell you about some of the unique features of this, which may just include the most revolutionary feature on a rangefinder since they introduced the magnet 3 years ago on the Pro XE, which has now kind of become standard across most modern rangefinders. So if you're in the market for a new rangefinder and you want to know what the newest of the new is, and quite possibly the best of the best, keep watching. Okay, so with the R1, Precision Pro really upped its presentation game. The box was this like translucent, futuristic, high-end feeling thing, and I expected a similar design with this. But it's clear Precision Pro is taking a little bit of a different design direction with the NX series versus their GPS-enabled products. And that's clear with the NX10. So you open it up, the first thing you notice, play with style. What the heck does that mean? We're going to talk about that in a second. We open it up, the rangefinder is front and center. It is clearly the star of the show here. When you see it, first impressions are, it's pretty Spartan. A lot of these are trying to look more futuristic. They've got lots of like ridges and molding and rubber and all of this stuff to make it just look, I don't know, sometimes fancier than it is. But this, super basic. White, you got the black magnet on the back, you got the black front, you've got a faceplate here that's black, and the only hint of color on this thing at all is a little hint of the signature Precision Pro green underneath the switch for slope. Okay, so real quick, finishing up with the unboxing, you've got a little pack with Precision Pro sticker, quick start, how to use it, how to switch out the faceplates, all of that stuff. And you've got the NX10 case. I'm really excited that companies have been starting to get away from that kind of generic canvas case. Every time you get a device with one of those, that just kind of feels kind of cheap and kind of like, oh, that was cool 5 years ago. Now a lot of companies are coming out with this kind of like rubbery or like pleathery type case, which just feels really nice, and the NX10 is no different. This one's got kind of a rubber thing. It's got a taped waterproof zipper here. And it just looks great. You've got a carabiner clip, so you can easily clip it to your bag. It's got the elastic band here, so you don't have to unzip it. You can get easy access throughout the round. And it's even, back here, got a little canvas strap, so you can stick some tees in there for easy access on your golf bag. So personally, I'm really digging the minimalist look. But not everything is what meets the eye here. We're gonna talk about that in just a second. First off, I compare pretty much every rangefinder I review to the Pro XE because this is my favorite rangefinder up until today. We may or may not have a new champion. This thing has weight. It is substantial. It feels solid. It feels well built. It feels high end. Every other one of these feels lighter. Not necessarily cheaper, but it doesn't feel quite as substantial. This isn't quite as heavy as the XE, but it's pretty darn close and is the first rangefinder I have tested that really gives you that weighty, high-end feel that I've been looking for on some of these new upstart rangefinders in that kind of $200 to $300 price range. So already it's making big leaps and bounds up towards this, and we haven't talked about performance or anything like that. But before we talk performance, we're still talking about looks and everything here. This thing has a trick up its sleeve. What is it, you might ask? Well, it's this. It's got a faceplate that is magnetic that just clips on, just like that, that's removable, And what that allows you to do is personalize your Precision Pro NX10. Precision Pro is selling a bunch of these different faceplates. It could be a logo from your club. It could be a solid color. It could be a logo of a sports team. It could be an American flag. There are numerous ways you can customize this thing to make your rangefinder look super different and unique. This front plate is also removable too. So if you don't like black, you can get blue or green or whatever you want it to be. And I see so much potential in this design, which makes me think this is truly one of the most revolutionary things we've seen on rangefinders since the magnet. So let's take a couple use cases. Let's say your company is hosting a golf outing and their T-gift prize for people that are competing is an NX10. They get custom faceplates with their logo. So you're stoked. You're like, cool, I got a new rangefinder. I got my company logo on here. That's great. So every time you're playing with your boss, cool, you slap on the company logo. Hey, look at that. I got company pride. We're great. When you're playing with your boys, you switch it out. You put on like your favorite NBA team logo or your club logo or whatever you want it to be. It really allows you to do something different. And where I see even more opportunity is imagine if Precision Pro partnered with like a Seamus Golf and you had a leather faceplate or even like a Pendleton wool faceplate. All of a sudden you've got this device which already looks great and high end, and then you have made it something truly special, truly unique that nobody else is going to have. So it seems gimmicky on the surface, but I love this idea of the faceplate where you can just switch it out. So you can have like 3 or 4 of them. You can switch them out depending on what mood, what vibe you want. And it just allows for kind of a more unique way to play golf. I mean, it's kind of like having a skin for a video game character. Does it really make a difference in performance? No, but it allows you to add some personality, allows you to have some fun with one of your devices, and I just think that's a really cool idea. For our regular viewers here, you may be wondering, why are you in your kitchen and not in your normal office setup? Well, that's because this week this happened, which then led to this happening. And so if you hear a faint hum of fans, it's because there are a dozen fans trying to dry out our house from the leak that appeared. So that's what's going on. So if the sound isn't quite up to par this time, the background, whatever, that's why. But let's get back to fun stuff. Let's get back to talking about this. But you know what? All of this, it doesn't matter if the Precision Pro NX10 sucks, if it doesn't work very well. But guess what? It doesn't suck. In fact, it is arguably just as good as the Bushnell Pro XE, which comes in at double the price. So let's talk about what makes it so good. So first off, use it on the course. It's accurate. Like that's a given. A rangefinder has to be accurate. Every time I hit this button, it finds the target I'm trying to acquire. It gives me an accurate distance. I love it. I'm really impressed by that. But here's the thing most other rangefinder companies have gotten wrong, including Precision Pro on some of their older models. What they do is they clutter up the viewfinder. So a lot of the time, some of these lower priced models, they're like OEM rangefinders from a Chinese factory or something. And so companies are essentially taking that OEM rangefinder and they're just slapping their own branding with that. So often what those rangefinders come with is they have like a scan mode and a hunting mode and a non-golf mode and all of these modes that you have to switch between that clutter up the viewfinder in there that you're never gonna use. You're a golfer. All you want to do, you just want to know the distance to the flag and maybe the slope adjusted distance. So almost every other rangefinder I have used, they've cluttered up the display with unnecessary information. They got it right here. You look through it. There's a circle for your target aim, and right below it is your distance. If you have slope on, right up on the top right, there is a slope adjusted distance. That is it. You have a big, clear viewfinder with only the information you need to see. I don't know why it's been so hard for so many rangefinder companies to get this right. We're starting to see with some of the most recent models that people are trending towards less information in the device itself. But this is the best I've seen next to the Bushnell devices and maybe the Nikon Coolshot Pro 2 Stabilized, which has the best optics of any rangefinder I've ever seen. The magnification in this is perfect. You look through it, you've got a big, beautiful view. The optics, like I said, are pretty much on par with all the Bushnell models these days. Precision Pro has really upped their game as far as optics are concerned, so it's clear, it's concise, it works well. It is honestly the best rangefinder I've reviewed in a very long time. Hey, real quick, just take a quick pause. Are you getting value out of this? Is this video useful for you? Maybe do me a favor, go hit the subscribe button. We're a new channel, so every subscribe really helps compared to those other channels that have like tens of thousands of subscribers. It doesn't mean as much to them, but for us, we got like 1,200 subscribers, so every one counts. So maybe consider doing one of these. Or not these. Do the thumbs up too, but hit the subscribe button. Only if this is useful though. All right, let's go. So clearly I'm giving this thing a glowing review. You might be saying, well, what are the drawbacks? What can it do? What isn't so good about it? Well, for the most part, I have found very few, if any, truly like negative things or things that I don't like about this. I will mention a couple things. The vibration, when you click the like flag lock vibration you get, it pretty much vibrates every time you hit the button. So as long as you're locking on to something, it's going to vibrate. The Bushnells generally do a little bit of a better job where it only vibrates if it catches the flag. This will kind of vibrate all the time. So far in my experience, I've played 3 rounds with it so far, and that's what I'm finding. Not really a huge detriment, honestly. I like the vibration feature, and it has had no trouble hitting the targets that I am intending, whether it's a bunker lip, whether it's the flag, whatever it is, this thing gets it pretty much pinpoint accurate every time. But there are a handful of features that this doesn't have. So the most common feature that you will see in some other rangefinders, including the Pro XE, including the Blue Tees Series 3 Max, is an ambient display. So in some rangefinders, it will adjust from black text inside to a lit up red text when lighting conditions are a little bit darker. This does not have that. Frankly, I found in a lot of lower priced rangefinders that auto ambient display can kind of just fog up the display a little bit, and light bleeds from the edge and it makes it a little bit less easy to read things clearly, which is kind of counterintuitive. So personally, I don't really mind the fact this doesn't have the ambient display. Really, it's one of those things that it never really bothers me whether it's on or off in most of the rangefinders I use, so I'm not missing it too much. It does not have stabilization like the Nikon Pro 2 Stabilize Cool Shot, whatever that one is. But honestly, I don't know of any other rangefinders that do have stabilization. That's kind of some of Nikon's imaging technology, which makes that particular device pretty unique. So you're not really seeing it anywhere else, so I wouldn't have ever expected to see it here. And yeah, it doesn't have a barometric pressure sensor to adjust the slope based on altitude and things like that, like you get in the Pro XE. Does anybody need that? No, not really. It doesn't really matter what altitude you're at or what the temperature is if the wind's blowing in your face and it can't tell you what the wind is doing. So those are really the only things that this is missing. Also, I take that back. It is also missing GPS. So for instance, the R1 will pair with your phone. It will give you GPS distances to the front, back, center of the green within the rangefinder itself. But honestly, that's kind of a different use case. That's a different product. So if that's what you're looking for, then go get the R1. It's an excellent device as well. So this leads us to the coup de grace, the cherry on top, the thing that puts the NX10 over the edge compared to almost every other rangefinder out there. Pro XE, $549. Nikon Cool Shot 2 Pro Stabilize, whatever that one is, $449. The Precision Pro NX10, $279. And if you use the code BREAKING80, you're gonna get 20 bucks off that, which brings this down to right around $260. For 260 bucks, you are getting a product that is just as accurate as the Bushnell Pro XE. It has the same heft, same weight, same high-end feeling as the Pro XE. It's got the built-in magnet, it's got slope, and it's got the removable faceplate, which I think we are gonna see a ton of cool stuff happening with over the course of the coming months. So you've got a rangefinder that is essentially just as good as the Bushnell in pretty much every way that matters, and it's about half the price. Obviously, if you use the code BREAKING80, I'm going to get a commission on that. So if you don't want me to get a commission or whatever, or you think I'm biased, then go do your own research. Don't click on my affiliate link, don't use my code. But I truly, wholeheartedly recommend this device. Honestly, I recommend all the devices I've mentioned here, but I think this is currently the best of the bunch in terms of performance, price, value, all of those things. So being totally honest, I think I've given like 3 or 4 perfect 10s on BREAKING80 over the course of the last 10 years of reviewing golf products. NX10 lives up to its name, perfect 10. Presentation, I think it's beautiful. I think it's minimalist. You've got lots of options with this, it gets a 10. Performance, it's on par with the Bushnell. It gets a 10. Price, $280, $260 with our code. For the quality you get here, it's a 10. And personal affinity, I love this thing. It will be in my bag. I will be using it this year. It gets a 10. So well-earned Precision Pro. I'm very impressed. Don't want to drop that. This thing's awesome. With that, my name's Sean Ogle. I'm the founder of this thing here at Breaking 80, where we do sweet golf tech reviews and the occasional YouTube video. If you got some value out of this video, then give the thumbs up, maybe hit the subscribe button. I've only been doing this for a few months, so every subscribe really helps. My favorite comment is one I got recently that was like, I wasn't expecting this video to be very good based on your subscriber count, but it is excellent. So thank you for the person that left that comment. And go over to breaking80.com/hi. We send out 1 email a week with all of the latest product, course reviews, and cool golf content that's out there. I think you're really gonna dig it, so go check it out. With that, I'm gonna go get this thing on the course, go have some more fun with it. I hope you have an excellent day, and we'll see you on the next video.